Alright, what's up friends? Welcome back. Planet Coaster 2 in... Hold on, let me, oh, there we go. Welcome back to Planet Coaster 2, another awesome live stream. We're back here, and we're just going to be working on stuff today. I'm very excited, so maybe give you a sneak peek of Windland Adventure Resort's next episode, which I have been working on. Just don't have enough footage just yet to get an episode out there. I've been working on the Sports Grill, that restaurant. That's what we've been working on for the next episode. And then, yeah, so it's coming along pretty good. But I did want to work and touch up a lot on Silver Dollar City. I really want to get this going, unlike Planet Coaster 1. And I've been working on it wee bits at a time here and there, and the entrance is starting to come along, actually. So we've got the start of OMP, the Ozark Marketplace, which is going to be this building right here, as you can see in the floor plan, as the Ozark Marketplace. I did get the self-serve ticket kiosk kind of started as well. And then this will be over, that leads over to like the trams and such. I don't know how far out we're going to go. We do have a little bit of space up here, but I'll probably, we're not going to be including the parking lot in any way, shape, or form in this build, because obviously the park itself takes up way too much of that space. So we will not include, obviously we would never have enough space because SDC's parking lot is very, very spread out. Like, it would be way out here in the corner over there if we were to have that. So we're not going to do that, of course. I might have the little parking spots on the side here, which is a little employee lot, and maybe this employee lot as well. I'm not sure if I'll put this road in or not. Maybe, I probably will. I'll just have it cut off at the ends here, probably. Most likely. I could potentially put this intersection here. It'll just get cut off at that point, but... and then this is 76. This is the main road for Branson that leads you back into Branson West and all that fun stuff. But anyways, welcome to the stream, guys. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. The park's closed today, so I have the day off and giving us some time to actually do some stuff on the channel, which is pretty cool. I've been pretty busy lately. We're about to go into 7-day operation. We're actually in 6-day operation right now. So time is going to be running very low on what I'm able to do, so very, very much not looking forward to that right now. But I think this is turning out fantastic so far. If you've ever been to Silver Dollar City, let me know in your thoughts what you're thinking of what this is looking at like thus far. I think it's looking brilliant, even way better than my Planet Coaster 1 attempt at the recreation. So what we're going to be doing is, again, my plan on this version of Silver Dollar City is going to easily be just doing one area at a time, completely finishing it before I move on to the next area. So we're going to get this front entrance completely done, and everything that we're going to do here get completely done, and then before we move on to the next part, I have some stuff that I want to obviously get going, the more exciting stuff like the coasters, and I did get a little started on some stuff like just kind of some testing off to the side. Obviously we have like the powder keg trains over here, and I've been testing a little bit on how I'm going to be doing this transfer track up to the launch track, and I kind of came across what I've kind of settled on right now. As you can see, the transfer that will be here, this is actually a drop track, and then we're going to have a track that raises up here. That's kind of the layout, kind of the style we're going to go for that. I think last time in Planet Coaster 1 we just had a hidden track that went around and up and over. This one we're going to have this, that way I don't have to worry about the track piece dipping down into the ground. It looks a little bit better visually, and we'll still have that animated track piece that will go up and down to make it look like that track piece moves, which will be a cool little touch as well. So really got to work around it quite a bit, but it will work in the long run. We are going to retrace this track with the S&S style track, and then once we get to the Buzzsaw Falls track, this track will work perfectly for the Buzzsaw Falls track because it's the same style with the little diagonal cross ties and everything like that. That will be fantastic for powder keg. And then, of course, we have Wildfire, which I did kind of get a little bit of testing over here. Honestly, I didn't add too much to this train. I did use the B&M sit-down trains. These are slightly different from Wildfire. Wildfire's trains are kind of a mixture between a sit-down train and also a floorless train. It's basically a floorless coaster with a floor that sits underneath you. Your feet still dangle, your feet don't touch the ground, and this one, your feet do. I did decide to go ahead and settle on actually just using the sit-down coaster model. I was thinking about using the floorless coaster and then adding scenery pieces to add the floor in. But the problem with that is it does have like the retractable floor, and visually I didn't really care for that. And I think this one is a lot easier and matches the style of Wildfire's train already a little bit better. So I decided to go with the sit-down trains for now, and then add, of course, the Silver Dollar City logo on the front. And yeah, we don't really have to add too much scenery to this. The only inaccuracy here is the back of the cars right here. Should be the same color that's at the base here, but that's a little minor detail that I don't think will make a huge difference overall. And then, of course, we did, if you've been following the channel, we did start on Fire in the Hole as well. We didn't get very far, but I decided to go ahead and move that build into this build instead pretty quickly. But what's up, Silas? How is it going? Glad to see that you stayed safe, because you pretty much drove through that storm, didn't you? Or something like that. Glad you stayed safe. At least I hope you did. But we have that. You end up shutting down for weather at all yesterday. I went home early. I'm assuming they did, because it started storming after I left a little bit. So, I left at around 4:30, so I'd imagine they probably closed around 5 something and didn't reopen. That's going to be my guess, but I'd assume they did, because it was starting to storm before 6 before I got home, so I ran a few errands afterwards and tried to beat the storm home, which I did do successfully. It did start to rain and stuff, but hey, Joe, how's it going? Good to see ya. How's it going, man? Did you do well during all the storms? Yeah, thankfully we did not go into a tornado warning last night. We just had some really heavy thunderstorms. It was very loud and a lot of lightning. A lot of lightning last night. But it looks like everything is fine. I didn't see like a ton of debris anywhere, so that's pretty good. So we fared pretty well. I didn't end up losing power or anything, so that's good. Yeah. Pretty cool. Didn't drive through it, but it hit where you were. Got you pretty hard, thankfully. Concert was canceled because it's past downtown Tulsa. Gotcha. Well, glad to hear that everything's okay. And I hope everyone else fared well in the storms last night, if you were in that area, those areas. So, but Branson area, we did pretty good. I think we were in a tornado watch the whole time, but like we never went into a warning, thankfully. So always good to see, because of some nasty storms, nasty storms. And I hope all of you stayed safe and didn't have any like significant damage or anything, hopefully. We didn't hear, so, which is always nice. This time of year always kind of sucks, so, with storms and just in general. I'm not a big fan of this time of year, really. I think my favorite time of year is fall and winter. That's my favorite half of the year. Is fall and winter. I love fall. Absolutely love fall. It's a beautiful time of year. And then winter, I prefer the cold. I like the cold, so always prefer the cold. You don't have to mow your lawn, you know. All the bugs are gone, you know. All that fun stuff. I feel like there's more pros than cons to the winter as opposed to like the summer. If you ask me. Like, yeah, it's cold. So I know people don't like being cold, but what better day, like when you get snowed in or iced into your house and you get some nice hot chocolate, stay nice and cozy and warm inside your house, and as long as your heater's working. Should I drive back to Branson tonight or drive straight to work in the morning? Oh man, I don't know. You have to leave at like 5 a.m. I would personally probably do it tonight, personally, but that'd be me if I had to choose. But yeah. All right. Let's get some references up here. I'm gonna bring up. There is some pretty good 360 videos, walkthroughs of Silver Dollar City. It's almost just as good as having. They're a little bit outdated. I think they're from like 2022, but I've been using them for this entrance. But there's some people that did like a 360 video walking through the park, so very, very nice reference to have. Yeah, this is from 2022, so it's not completely accurate. There's some changes that have occurred since then, so got to keep an eye out for that. For sure, so right stuff here. Anyways, it's good to see on May 9th when I was at SDC for my birthday. Just a heads up, I want to give a guy how the train's doing while... Gosh. My chat's moving everywhere. Just a heads up, I was the guy who asked how the channel... Oh, okay, yeah. I'd met you before, but sometimes, like, there's just so many faces that I see that, you know, sometimes I forget faces, as bad as that sounds, you know, because I think we've met in person at least once or twice before, so... But yeah, I remember you. I was at Powder Keg. I've been at Powder Keg so much lately, so, like, I've barely been at Outlaw Run this year. And it's more due to, like, staffing. I always go where I'm needed, and Powder Keg's needed me the most, so... But anyways, member for 29 months for Silas. The band I saw last night covered All Star and Smash Mouth, which means you have to bury Shrek. I don't have Shrek. We don't have Theme Maker's Toolkit in Planet Coaster 2. There's no Shrek. I would have to actually sculpt him to make one. I mean, I'm sure there's probably someone... There's probably one on the workshop. Let's be real. There's probably Shreks on the workshop somewhere. If we're gonna be real. It looked like it was a long day. Yeah, we've had some long days. I've had some... Nothing like too crazy, but like a little bit of stressful stuff going on lately. Like not like anything bad, but mostly with like bills and stuff too. Like I just got some bill stuff taken care of. So I'm sure, I don't know if you've made this mistake before. So I had my trash bill, right? And I had set up autopay with it, which I've never had any issue with autopay. I thought that I had my bank account linked with it, so that way it never expires. Well, my credit card expired in February, and come to find out, I had not been making payments. The automated payments hadn't gone through because that card that was on there had expired. So I was like 3 months late on paying my trash bills, and so I owed a lot from that, and then I also had a late fee on top of it because I hadn't been paying it because my card had expired, and I didn't have any payments. The payments weren't going through because of that. So I had to fix that, and then I wasn't able to pay the bill online. It said that I owed $0, so I had to call, get that fixed. That was fun. So I made sure that my autopay is through my bank account this time, so that way it doesn't expire. So that was fun. It sucks that I had to pay a late fee because, I mean, in the end, it was my fault. But, like, so I'm not gonna, like, argue and give them a hard time for, like, that. But I had been wondering, like, because I'm like, they didn't pick up the trash, because I think they canceled my service. It was locked, is what they said. So I had to get that reactivated and everything because they were like, well, we're not gonna empty your trash anymore, so... because you haven't been paying for the last 2 or 3 months, you know? So... I mean, it makes sense, but, like, kind of sucked, and I didn't notice it until I got this until I saw this letter in the mail the other day, so... But I got it all fixed now. Now the stress is gone. And then I had some other bill stuff I had to worry about, too, which kind of sucked as well. And it's just been a whole ordeal. It's been a thing. It has been a thing. And I'm one that I'll never go, like, Karen mode in any way, shape, or form. I would hate to be that person that someone would have to deal with. I mean, it was completely my fault, so, like, I didn't mind paying the late fee or anything like that. Like, I messed up, so, yeah, it's my fault. I don't expect you to expect anything in return, so... I will take accountability. I messed up, and I should have put my bank account on there rather than my debit card, so... Didn't even think about it, and I probably should have thought about it more after my card expired, because... Anyways, you know, adult problems, right? And then on top of all this, dealing with one of my cats having a UTI, so I had to take them to the vet this morning. Well, actually, we took them to the vet last week, got some meds for the cat, and then the cat... we have 5 cats, and somehow our cats got into those meds, and they ate all of the meds, and they ended up throwing up all over the house. Thankfully, that's probably a good thing, because it means they got all that out of their system. And so I had to take them back to the vet this week and get all that taken care of. So yeah, I've had some pretty... It's just a lot of overwhelming stuff the last few days, last week or so. But I've handled it like a champ, just saying. I've handled it like a champ, and the cats seem fine after all of that, thankfully. Thankfully, they threw up, and that was not fun coming home too. By the way, having to clean up all that cat puke. Yeah, it was awful. But everything should be good now. It's great. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Just everything's great. Everything's just peachy. Now, I've always wondered, do you guys have any suggestions? Because I'm curious if any of you guys have suggestions on how to do this. Now, I haven't messed with doing floor plans that much before, but how do you do floor plans with terrain? Because obviously, we're going to have to change the terrain here, and it's not flat, so it's going to make it harder to use these floor plans. So I'm curious of how I should do that, if maybe I should, like... Once I raise the terrain, I can raise that one panel I need. So, like, if I mess with the terrain here, I can just raise this panel up. So I can still get an idea where everything goes, and then just, like, lower it down. I'm not entirely sure. It's really... It's been kind of on my mind. This area is kind of flat, so... But once we get to around here, we're going to have to start worrying about the terrain a little bit. So I'm kind of curious of how I should approach this. Because we are going to have to raise it up a little bit here. There's a slight hill going up into here, so not entirely sure if any of you guys have any suggestions on that. Let me see if I can get... I don't know if they get to this corner. I think they actually do get to that corner, so let me, on my reference video here, there we are, so I can see kind of how this wall goes here, because we'll continue this wall. I do want to get OMP kind of built up here, so after this concrete wall, we have another concrete wall that kind of goes back a little bit. So let's actually do this. We'll make this go... Actually, we'll push this back just a little bit so it's in front of this wall. That, and then we're going to push this wall here. And then we're going to continue this wall. This is the... Perfect. We just need to change the color of it. So then we have this little side entrance. This is for employees only. That will come through right there. And there's like a little overhang cover. See, it's really hard to tell because with all the trees out the way they are right here, it's really hard to tell where the walls actually kind of end. So we gotta kind of work around that. This green actually works really, really well. So. I'm not doing face cam today, no. I mean, I could, but I don't really want to. All right, let me see about where this sits. I would say this is about this long, actually. So looking at the video, and this is all covered up by trees, so it does kind of make it hard to see. So I'd imagine that it's going to go about right here. Or go across right here. We can have that overhang, and then we can have the wall that will lead up right there, and that will lead us to kind of the actual exit when you enter that building. Now, we'll have to look over here. I think this is orange color for this texture. In fact, it's the same as this wall. So let's go ahead and copy this color in there. So we can change the color of these walls. Those. Perfect. Hey, what's up, J-Trains? Use rocks instead of terrain. So I have more control and can move everything I need to. So use... The only thing is I don't think rocks is going to be the best option here. Planet Coaster 2 is really, really good with... it's way easier to use the terrain with the pathing system now. Because now I could just use the pathing. Actually, that's probably the... Actually, I think that's going to be our go-to. I just thought of something really good. I can use the paths to create the terrain, and then we can just pull the terrain up to it once we're done. That way I still get the floor... I can still see the floor plan just fine. So, for example, if I wanted to, like, make an elevated... or change the path elevation like this, we can start to do it like say like this, and then I can just pull the terrain up to it. That's what I'm thinking about doing. That's actually going to be probably the best option for us overall. That way we can still see the floor plan, and then when we're done, we can just pull the terrain up. That might actually be the best way to do it. The only thing is when we go downhill, when we have to go build downwards, that's going to be a little bit more difficult, but... I mean, technically everyone has a YouTube channel. I mean, if you're signed into your account, that's a YouTube channel. It's just up to you if you want to post anything. So technically everyone commenting has a YouTube channel. Technically. Alright, this is going to be a little bit difficult. We're going to have to utilize a lot of the 360 cam here to figure out all of this, because as you can see, like, it's just very hard to see anything. This is going to be guest relations right here. So we get a little bit of sense of where that building's going to be placed. So I might actually start on that building so I can kind of get an idea where it's at and where I can place the pathways. So I think this video will get us to guest relations, I hope. Yes. So we can actually see a 360 cam of guest relations, which is at the front here. We have 2 guest service buildings. This one, and then there's also one inside the park at Midtown, which is very nice. The Midtown one is still relatively new. We've had it for maybe a couple years now. Very good for if you want to visit guest services without leaving the park, because to get to this one, you have to actually exit the park because it's outside the front gate, so... So let's see. We're going to start off with some wood textures. I think we're going to use the same one, if I can find it, from the Western set. By the way, we are getting more Western, some of the more Western pieces that were left out in the next update, in case you guys were wondering if we didn't hear. So that actually is very, very nice that we are going to be getting more. Which is very, very nice. So that front part is just a little bit of an overhang piece. It's not part of the building, actually. So we're going to do 2 pieces here. And then we're going to change the color. It is more of a creamish kind of white. So we're going to go more white. But there's a little bit of color to it. It's not just plain white. I'd say there's just a little bit of... it. Okay. Somewhere around here. Yeah, that's good. I don't think I'm going to do any interiors, at least for this building, for sure. I'm going to probably just save that for, like, other buildings and stuff like that. So like I don't think we need to do an interior for guest services. I mean, I'll probably put in some like blocks in there so guests probably will enter it, but we'll put like guest info buildings or guest info stands or whatnot. This actually will work. I think this will actually work pretty well, so. Is there another side to it though? I don't know if I can make it a double-sided door. I'm not sure if that is gonna allow me to. I can't flip it backwards to put it on the other side, so we might have to go with something else. Let's take a look at our options here. This one look good. I mean, I can always make custom doors, but I'm trying to keep it some spots simplistic for certain areas. Entrance and exit here, so. I wish we had, I really do wish we had a few more door options. Go live is lit. Yes, it is. Now, I could do, like, just something like that. Not the most accurate, but it still technically achieves what we needed to. And that's just get some doors on here. And I don't think it's anything that anyone's going to really, like, notice all that much. So we want to put these down there. I think I need to lighten these up a little bit. I made them a little bit too dark. There we go, kind of like that. There we go. That's brilliant. All right, let's see if we can get the go back to walls here and see if I can get the there's a little like concrete or like a little rock wall that goes around this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have any pieces for that. Let me actually look at planters. See if there's anything that would work. Maybe not. Probably not, but I just thought. Go here and maybe we type stone. Stone. I need a rounded piece, but it needs to be very small. So that would fit in this piece right here. But I think all these are going to be too big. Like if I was to do that, it's going to take up, yeah, it's way too big. So we need something along the lines of something smaller. Which I don't think there's going to be anything in here technically. What piece would we use for this little counter piece? I'm not entirely sure what piece we would use here. It's got me a little stumped. I'm going to have to... I hate doing it, but sometimes you just got to go through here, and I'll just scroll through all the scenery pieces until I find something that goes, hey, that could work. It really sucks when you have to go through all of these because there's a lot of pieces. When there's a lot of pieces, it's kind of like really hard to. Takes a while, you know. It does sometimes take some time. Time is money, but you know. Sometimes you gotta take that time and just find exactly what you're looking for. I've done this before, but then once I do find it, I know for next time it just helps with that experience because like once you finally find something like, oh, if I ever have to do something similar in the future, you know I can use that piece again, you know. It's kind of like sometimes you have to go and discover stuff. I could potentially use like some non-grid pieces of these Viking stone walls, but like it wouldn't be very rounded because of how small it is. I mean, I guess it could size it down maybe and try that since we can scale this. So if I scale it down, we can get more of a round shape out of this because to me this is like the texture I need for sure. Let's do that. Let's go the medium piece and make sure we're right up against the wall here. Just like that. Obviously it's not this tall, but scaling it down is going to be working to our advantage here. It's about half the size of the doorways here, so do this and like so. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to round this perfectly, but all right, let's go 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's do 5 maybe, or 4. I'm trying to make it to where it's gonna be 4. That way, if we go 4 again, we'll be at the front part. Not gonna be perfect or anything, but it is going to get the job done. Or hopefully this lines up okay. It looks like it might not be a little close. That's okay. What we can do is, I feel like this is a little bit too big. Let's center it up. We can go ahead and use some magic. We'll go ahead and scale it down a little bit. And that's going to fit in there pretty nicely with the overhang piece like that. I think that's going to be our best bet for now. And then, of course, we have to do the roofing. For all that, there's quite a few signs here, like an entrance sign, exit sign, guest relation sign. And the sign on the top says, "Welcome to the city." So, but what's up, Jake? How's it going? But yes, SDC recreation is what we're working on at the moment. Let's get into some signage. And we're gonna see if we can find a sign that's close. I'm gonna try and find one. Oh yeah, you are very limited on PS5 for sure. Even in the right spot for this. Editable, yeah. Editable text signs. Just want to do like one of these and scale them down, and entrance and exit, maybe. The right colors. I'm always trying to make this as accurate as I can, but like, I don't want to like overdo it. Does it say entrance or enter? I can't really tell in the video. It looks very pixelated. Walk a little closer and maybe I can look over and see. I mean, I can always change it later. I walk by this almost every day, so you'd think I would know, but we'll just say enter. Very small text. I was hoping it'd be bigger. Let's do all caps here. Usually signs like this would be all caps anyways. Wish you could put in custom. Nice if you could do custom fonts. I feel like we should have more options for that. Or like your PC fonts should be in here instead of just the small list that they do have. I don't feel like there's a lot of options here. I mean, there's a good variety here, but like, I just feel like we should have a bit more. I don't know. I think we're gonna not do these signs actually. I'm not feeling them. I think we might kind of create our own. So we might go to art shapes. These are more rounded signs. The signs are a little bit more rounded. So how would console load those texts then? Console doesn't get the option. That's the thing. just like with everything else. It would be a PC only thing. Console doesn't get the same stuff. They already don't get stuff, so it wouldn't be any different in that case either. They would have to be stuck with what they got. And I'm all for consoles getting as many features as they can, but don't get me wrong, but they don't get that option. Like, there's just not a plausible way of making that happen. I don't understand why console players sometimes get so mad at Frontier for not including some of those things, and it's like, what do you want them to do? There's not really anything they can do. You can't get custom content on there. Like, you're on a console, not a personal computer. You can't just throw files in there. It doesn't work that way. Just, like, if you want all those options, you're gonna have to get a PC. Like, it's just the harsh truth. I think console players should just be grateful that the game's even on console. I was not thinking that the game would ever come to console. Like, back in the Planet Coaster 1 days, I was the one naysayer that said, it's never gonna happen. Stop hoping for it. And hey, they surprised me, but I knew it was going to have a lot of limits, you know? And those that are disappointed that it has limits, it's like, well, you know, I don't know what you want Frontier to do. I love how they're just like, they should allow more, or allow us, or increase the limit on the build limit. And I'm like, they can't do that. It's probably most likely a Xbox and PlayStation thing. The game has to be stable enough for them to allow it even in their store. So if the game is not stable enough, they're not going to allow it to even be part of it, you know, part of their, you know, it's just a thing. Like, if it was up to Frontier, trust me, I'm sure they would want you to have all those options, you know? It's not like Frontier's like, you know, it'd be funny, let's limit them. That's not, it's gotta have a reason. There's a specific reason. Like, there's actual reasoning behind it. It's not just like, it's not just to be rude to console players. That's not what it is. It's just like, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for those limits, because that's just how it is. And Planet Coaster is more of a PC game, if you ask me. Like, these types of games are more PC style games. Like these creative management building simulators, like that's just what it is. I think having it on console is just a bonus, so more people can get exposed and play the game. It really is just more of a bonus. I honestly think this building is bigger, but it's just being covered up by all of the trees, so it makes it hard to see. I think that's what's going on here, because I'm like, I can't fit all this stuff that, you know... Some stuff I'm just like, I can't fit that in there, so... Not quite that big, but let's go change our grid size down, and I think we need to push it over like that much. Kind of like that. I think that makes a little bit more sense for this building. Because again, I think the trees are just kind of overhanging and making it hard to see everything. So we are going to have to guesstimate a few times here with some of the stuff, but that's okay. Like, there's a lot of open space behind this building, so if we go overboard a little bit, it's not going to overall affect it that much. The floor plan is more of a guide, more of a guideline, more than anything. so you can kind of get a feel where everything should be. So if there's something that's not really possible, so like obviously the stations are going to be an issue. I do plan on making Outlaw Run Station here soon once the next update for the stock coasters come out, because obviously we're getting the RMC stock coaster, so I'm going to theme it up into Outlaw Runs. But as you can see here, one of the biggest pains is how big the stations are, and they won't fit in here properly. So like obviously this is the station, and the loading platform almost expands all the way out to the front gate, or the front entrance. So it's like, we're going to have to make adjustments to make this work. And there's stuff you can work around to try and make that happen. So you're just going to have to mess around with it a little bit and, you know, maybe push the entrance out a little bit more, or do little things like that overall don't affect everything too much. But you're going to have to do some workarounds. But I'm going to wait for the D-themed version of the train, which comes out in 9 days, by the way. We're going to be getting that update here pretty soon. It's right around the corner already. We're about to get that May update, which gives us the new RMC trains. Very, very exciting. And then we'll be learning more information about the June update, which I'm very excited, because we're going to have on-ride photos and souvenir shops. I'm so excited for on-ride photos. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, like, this is, like, the one bad thing. I wish we had a little bit more customization of how big the station platforms are, because the platform stations are a little oversized a lot of the times. They're okay sometimes, but they are very oversized a good portion of the time, which kind of sucks sometimes. So all right, let's get our guest relations sign. We should probably get the stone wall over here. Kind of pressing out over here, because there is a base piece on all of this that is just stone, kind of like stone. So get that in there. And it goes basically all the way across here. Get rid of that fighting texture. We don't want fighting textures. Every texture should be getting along. Don't be that texture that doesn't get along with everyone else. Yeah, the scaling tool is a huge difference, by the way. But man, Plan Code 2's come a long way. I'm glad to see a lot of people are starting to embrace it now, since it had such a rocky launch, which is never fun, but they have recovered quite remarkably since then. So I'm very proud of the team at Frontier for listening to everyone's feedback and getting this game into a really good state right now. I think it is in the best state it has been, and it's on par with, I think it's on par, but it actually is somewhat exceeded what Planet Coaster 1 has done, even more so. Bum, 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 bum. So, very proud of the developers, and I hope they keep it up. And I'm ready for DLC. I know some other people are, and I think we're at the point where we can start getting some DLC. I'm ready for that, for more content, honestly. I'm glad we're about to get the sci-fi theme back, that will give us a lot more pieces as well. So I love getting all these themes back. It helps get us a lot more pieces into the game. And all those Planet Coaster 1 pieces that we had, know and love, are coming back into the game. So, and you can scale those items. Stuff that you couldn't scale in the first game, you can now scale in the second game. And it's the same items, same models. So, love to see that they're getting all the Planet Coaster 1 stuff into the game, slowly but surely. And then on top of that, we have all the new Planet Coaster 2 themes. So basically, we'll have, once they're done, they haven't gotten all the themes. So far, we have Western back. We're about to get Sci-Fi back, so very exciting there. Next, after that, we're going to get the Fantasy theme back, and then we'll need Pirate themed. So you'll have all the Planet Coaster 1 pieces, but on top of that, we also have the Planet Coaster 2 themes as well. So that's already a huge step forward from Planet Coaster 1, and then obviously all the features that we have. So, but Planet Coaster 1 does have all that DLC going for it, so it still remains king when it comes to like all the different pieces and everything that, all the different stuff we have in that game, that we don't have in this game. So, that's why I'm ready for that DLC to start coming out, so it can really compete in the piece department, because Planet Coaster 2 just doesn't have as many pieces right now as Planet Coaster 1, because Planet Coaster 1 has 8 years of development and all of the different DLC, so really looking forward to when Planet Coaster 2 gets to all that. So over the next few years, who knows how many years it will take, but I mean, you're able to do so much with all the few pieces that we do have, honestly. Like, with these pieces that we do have, we were able to do quite a bit, so pretty awesome. All right, let's see. I want to use this. And it needs to overhang the building a bit, at least probably like that. And then we have the piece that goes over there. Should I have it? Yes, I need to have it overhang over here as well. So let's go. Both sides are going to overhang. Like so, and we're gonna have a nice probably should be honestly steeper. I didn't want to make it too tall though. That makes sense, because the real one, it's a little bit complicated, but like it's not as far back, but it's steeper. It's like should be in the halves of that, or about half of that. So, but I don't think there's going to be much of an option for us to change that, really. So we're just going to probably roll with this for now, and we could do the steeper piece, maybe. Let's see how that looks. See, that's just way too tall. Way too big. It's just, I need a smaller version of that. Another option is to create a custom roof. Could do a custom roof, but I don't know if I want to do that. See, something more along the line of this would actually be perfect. The only thing is I need more of a tiled roof, but I love that piece though. This piece would actually work fantastic for like the shape of it. So maybe I can do this. Let's hold on here. Let's see if this is a possibility. Do we have a middle piece for this? That's my question. Do you just use this piece? Okay, that's what you use. Okay, I understand now. What if, let's change the color of this and get it to the color we need. Side. Not really going with how that texture is. I think there's like something that I can use, but I can't remember or put my finger on what it's called. Is that what it's called? Gabbled roof side? name of it. But I thought there was like, yeah, like a freeform piece. We could definitely probably use something like this. That's actually like kind of what we did. It's kind of how I made this over here for the self-serve ticket kiosk. You have to. It's a little bit tricky though. Like you got to get it just right. A little tricky to kind of get this exactly the way you need it. I'm just using the bottom piece as kind of like a guide for shaping, and on obviously getting the symmetry down as well, so to make sure that I have it completely even. You can also do corners with this as well, if I am smart enough to figure it out, which isn't always the case. We need to rotate this to be like that. That is quite the interesting shape it gave me there. That's the thing with these, they always kind of have a weird rotation to them. It makes it hard. Because it's slightly rotated, that's what messes around with it. It's not like formed flat against the axis, so it's kind of a weird kind of shape to get it in the right spot. So you really have to like freeform it until you, or basically just eyeball it and freeform it until you get it in the exact spot you need it. Which works, but a little bit on the annoying side. I don't even know if this is correct. I'm not sure. I'd have to put one over here, and then also, what did I do over here? Let's see that I put one there, and then I put one there to make this shape, to make this corner. That's what I did there. So you need to do the same thing, but make it steeper. Right? I need to get the other side. For this one. Go over here. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know. I kind of just want to stick with this and then maybe decorate it to make it look better in the end. Because it's difficult. Difficult to get 100% correct. Alright, and then we'll put a flat piece up here, which will represent that. So, plaster. Use the non-gridded piece for this. Hopefully we can get those fighting textures covered covered up. Building is coming together, isn't it? Yes, it is. But appreciate you guys being here. Sorry I haven't been live or active a ton lately. I think I got my editing software figured out and my overheating issues figured out for now, at least. Still, I'm gonna go in. I still need to go in and do some proper fixes, but man, I've just been hit with like a lot of expenses lately, and it's been hard to keep up with like bills and everything. It's just, being an adult's not fun sometimes. Don't recommend. So if any of you are wanting to be an adult quickly, like just don't do it. Like just be a kid as long as you can. Trust me. I thought the same thing. It was gonna be so great. Being an adult would be so great. Still gotta do the overhang piece here now too. And then the other roof piece there. That's why I play Planet Coaster, because I like to remember back to those days when I didn't have to worry about stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this piece, though. This is going to be a toughie. Bit of a toughie. Plinko does definitely make it better, that's for sure. Sorry, I'm texting at the same time. Alright, what are the options we have here? Need to figure out what our options are going to be with this. I need to make... the piece. What is the piece I need? I need to find that magic piece that will solve everything. Have you ever found that before? Like you're just scrolling through and then you just at one point just find that piece and it's like amazing. I don't know what to do for this. I need this overhang piece to be here. I could do something like this, but this would be way too big. I mean, it wouldn't be super accurate if I did that, but like, it just depends on how accurate I want to be. Am I gonna be okay with it being slightly bigger up here, or is that a deal breaker? I mean, it doesn't matter that much. It really doesn't affect, like, anything, except for those that probably are like, hey, that's not that big. See, this wouldn't be a issues, but if this wasn't a grid piece, since this is a grid piece, I can't rescale it. You can't scale grid pieces, so... Sometimes I just wish we had grid pieces, but also next to them, we just have a non-gridded version of that you can scale up and down and move freely. That is sometimes a wish that I had. Alright, that's going to be a placeholder until maybe we can find a better option for that, but honestly, I am okay with it being slightly inaccurate just to not make this a pain in the butt. Not gonna lie. And is that an unpopular opinion? Yeah, probably. I want to be as accurate as possible, but I'm also gonna be real with you. I don't want to spend, like, crazy amounts of hours on one roof. If I find the time to, maybe, but maybe if we find the time to do that. Actually, let's go with a wooden floor, please. Just kind of fill this up. Do I want floor or roofing? I want the thin piece. Yeah, this would be great. I was an only child, so I don't have to worry about siblings at all. I got all the attention, because I was the only one. I did not place a piece there. I'm gonna be honest, even with the inaccuracies, that still looks pretty solid. Not gonna lie. Sorry I'm taking so long. I'm a popular person, okay? I do kind of want to test out how we can maybe do this path elevation a little bit. It is gonna be a challenge, but like I think the easiest way to go is like have a starting point and then blend it into that. And then soon we'll be able to get rid of curbs too in 9 days. See where everything is. This is pretty much flat, but it's a little bit of an elevation change, slightly. Just slightly. Let's actually look at the video here. I wouldn't say it's even, I don't know, it's pretty flat in this area. Just maybe the slightest elevation change right there. Maybe not. I don't know. I think I could probably get away with keeping all of this flat up until the entrance. I really think I could. I don't think we really need to change the elevation here. Looking at the video, I think we can, because there is an elevation change after the entrance, and this little curve path here, this is definitely elevated, and it brings you upwards quite a bit, so that's something to look out there for. But I think we can keep, for the most part, we can keep this. Definitely keep this kind of where it's at. Mostly been using the stamp builder. Anytime I need to make some curves and then just edit the path the way I need to. You know, that's kind of been my philosophy so far. So let's go ahead and take out all the snapping here. And the good thing on Google Maps here is it actually has a line of the pathway. So we can actually take all the way up there to the entrance.